Okay. All right. Well, first of all, I want to open it up remembering George Bennett. 23 years here at Clemson. You talk about a guy that, he's one of the all-time great Clemson people. Just truly, just left it. You talk about truly leaving your mark on a place and leaving a legacy and leaving a place better. George Bennett epitomizes all those things, and I'm just thankful that I got a chance to know him and be around him in many different venues and environments, and from the $2 bill to the cannon to all the things that he meant to IPTAY, and just again this entire university. I'm just thankful that I had a chance to know him, and I'm thankful for his impact and just prayers with his family. I know this has been a day that they've known was coming. I'm thankful that he's at home with the good Lord. So, special man, and I want to remember him.
All right, welcome to Believing Clemson Football, presented by FanDuel. I am Will Vandervort. That's Alex Dodd. Appreciate you guys joining us. Of course, that was Dabo Swinney in his opening statements of his press conference last week as Clemson was in the middle of bowl prep. That's the first time he met with us since the bowl prep started. And he was talking about the late George Bennett, who passed away a few weeks ago at the age of 92 years old. George, a Clemson legend, obviously, and so was his wife, Nancy, who also passed away, Alex, on Friday. Suddenly, she passed away in her sleep. George Bennett's memorial was that day, and so they had to postpone his memorial because now we're going to make it about George and Nancy. And so our thoughts and prayers go out to the Bennett family, Jeff Bennett, who's watches the podcast, I know, and is a friend of mine. And, you guys are in our prayers, and just thinking of you guys this time of year. I know you were expecting your dad. I don't think you were expecting your mama. So I know it's a hard time and just tough time. But hey, we're gonna remember George, Alex, and what him and his wife did for Clemson. They were Clemson legends, as we like to say.
Yeah, I mean they dedicated their lives to Clemson University. And George obviously had a stint at Furman as well as an athletic director, made a big impact there, leading to their football national championship. But talk about people who've done a lot for Clemson in recent memory. It's hard not to talk about George Bennett as like the number one guy who's made an impact on Clemson, from the $2 bill tradition to his fundraising efforts with IPTAY and the university. Hard to think of very many people who've had as much of an impact on Clemson as George has.
He has, I had the pleasure when I started this job 22, almost 22 years ago. It'd be 22 years in April. George was one of the first people I met, and he was so welcoming to me. So was his wife. And obviously I got to know Jeff down on the sidelines. Jeff would do camera work and stuff like that. And, just a great family, great people. And George really just kind of like, I thought I knew Clemson, right? I thought I knew Clemson history until I met George Bennett, and I don't mean just Clemson football history. I'm talking Clemson history, the university's history. And George Bennett was not just Clemson athletics. He just wasn't IPTAY as the former executive director of IPTAY. He wasn't just a former cheerleader. He wasn't just a former student. George was Clemson, and he knew everything about Clemson University. And, I will always be indebted to him and how he educated me about this university and about Clemson athletics and about Clemson football. No one did it better, man. There's nobody. We're going to miss George. Nobody did it better.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have an impact on a place like George did, that's an impact that doesn't go away. So his impact's going to continue to be felt around Clemson. And most obviously, anytime you go to a road game and carry a big old stack of $2 bills in your pocket, that's probably the most obvious way that you'll feel George's impact and remember him. But his impact goes a lot farther than just that.
Yeah, and by the way, speaking of that, I will be going to the bank today and getting some $2 bills in honor of George, and we'll take those with me to New York as I go cover the Tigers this week. And so I just wanted to kind of spread that around a little bit in New York so people can understand, like, what's this $2 bill thing? Because New York's never experienced it. So Clemson fans, if you're going to New York and you're going to the game, take some $2 bills for you and do it in honor of George Bennett, because George Bennett is the one who invented the $2 bill tradition at Clemson. It started in 1977 when Georgia Tech was ending the series with Clemson because Clemson was getting too big for them. So they didn't want to play a team they could possibly lose to, which branched off of what happened in 1974 when Clemson beat them. And so George says, well, let's show them what they're missing. So he got Clemson people to go to Atlanta that week and have $2 bills and use everything they did in currency with $2 bill. So everything you bought, you ate, everything, you left a tip, left with $2 bills, and it worked. And the city of Atlanta saw the impact of that. And then later that year, and this is how the tradition started for bowl games, Clemson got a bid to the Gator Bowl. It was Clemson's first Gator bowl bid in 18 years at the time. And George again asked Clemson Nation to bring their $2 bills to Jacksonville, Florida, and let's show Jacksonville, Florida the impact Clemson has when it goes to a bowl game. And because of that, because of George Bennett and how Clemson fans travel, people know, and that's why Alex, when the bowls were being selected, the ACC couldn't get its bowl selected because the Pinstripe Bowl wanted Clemson, the Sun Bowl wanted Clemson, the Duke's Mayo Bowl wanted Clemson, and I think there was another bowl that wanted Clemson. They were all wanting Clemson to come to their games. Why? Because of Clemson fans, because Clemson fans travel, and they know Clemson's going to be watched on television, and it's a big name team. And ultimately, they end up in the Pinstripe Bowl and going to New York. George Bennett I was thinking of George during all that, man, because that's the reason why bowl games were fighting to have Clemson in their bowl.
Yeah, and it is pretty cool. I know these bowl games have lost their luster and nobody cares about them or whatever. But going to the Pinstripe Bowl, playing in New York, playing in Yankee Stadium, that's pretty cool. Will, I'm going to need you to do me a favor on your way out. Could you just spit on the ground for me as you walk out of Yankee Stadium?
I'll do it for you, buddy.
Just in my honor.
Because I do have Dodger blood in me. So I will spit don't worry, I will spit on Yankee Stadium. Yeah.
But still pretty dang cool that Clemson's going to get to play in an iconic sports venue. I know it's not the actual Yankee Stadium because for some reason they decided to tear it down. But it's close to where it was, so just
Babe Ruth played somewhere in there.
Yeah. So just do me a favor and spit on the ground for me, but enjoy your time, man. It's going to be a blast to be up there in New York. This is the time of the year you want to be in New York City. So I know the players are excited. The coaches are excited, and a pretty good matchup, a matchup that a lot of us, I believe you included, had as a playoff game.
Yes.
But now it's a Pinstripe Bowl.
It's a totally different game. It's going to be the battle of attrition, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Yeah. So anyway, think of George Bennett out there when you guys go to New York, and think about when you hear the cannon go off. Think of George Bennett, because the cannon, obviously, he got that started when he was a cheerleader at Clemson back in 1955, I believe, Alex, somewhere like that. And he got it done. It could have been 52 or 53, but I know he started the tradition. And so when the Tigers run down the hill, George Bennett, that was the cannon that he got going. And after every score, the cannon's fired. That was George Bennett's tradition too, as well. And there's others all over Clemson that George Bennett touched. So anyway, our thoughts and prayers go out to their family today, and just keep them in your prayers here during the holiday season. We'd appreciate that. Alex, right now though, we're going to go ahead and talk about, what's, our sponsors. I think it's important that we do it. Start off with the Clemson Athletics, the place to go for Clemson, the Clemson Insider, which is
everybody in the Clemson Athletic Department is like, what?
We didn't become a sponsor. The Clemson Insider, the most complete coverage of Clemson athletics and recruiting. Go on over to the ClemsonInsider.com today. You can also find us on X.com as well as you do right here, right now on YouTube or at Facebook. You can find us in those different places. And so, but go over to the website, check it out. JP is doing a great work right now. You did the recruiting season, just got finished. They're about to start going on the road again here after the bowl season and cranking up. Alex, it's going to be transfer portal season starting here on January 2nd. That's going to be a big deal. Interesting to see what Dabo Swinney does. We'll talk maybe about that later. Interesting to see what Clemson does in the transfer portal. A lot of news going to go on with the coaching staff as soon as this bowl game's over, I'm sure, too. We've already had some of that out. If you've been to Clemson Insider, you've seen that. So stay tuned to the Clemson Insider for all the latest news for Clemson athletics and recruiting. Go to the ClemsonInsider.com. We also want to give a shout out to our sponsors, the good folks over at Smoke on the Water, which will be located at 64 Beacon Drive on Restaurant Row off of Pelham Road in Greenville. Alex, I was over there the other day. It's looking good. It's about to open up. A lot of red tape goes on in opening these restaurants. It's the most craziest thing in the world. But they plan to open after the first of the year. At first it was October, then it was November, then December. But it is what it is. But they've almost got it all worked out, and just different things that come through that they have to do when you got a liquor license and things of that nature. But they're going to have their doors open soon. If you've driven by, you've seen it, obviously.
Yeah, you can see the sign from the interstate, so it's coming.
So it's coming. So the all-new Smoke on the Water will open on in January. Will open at 64 Beacon Drive on Restaurant Row. All-new Smoke on the Water will feature the same famous smoked meats it had before, such as pulled pork, brisket, beer butt chicken, which is my favorite, by the way, and prime rib. But a few things will appear. New things will appear on the menu as well. They'll also have their 5 signature barbecue sauces, which will be there to complement, not smother, any of its smoked meats. Like before, the all-new Smoke on the Water will have Greenville's best happy hour, and it will feature live acoustic acts as well. Smoke on the Water, owned by Mike Schuler, who I was at his Christmas party the other day. Alex, unbelievable. Man, he did his own food, and it was like being at Smoke on the Water. I was at his house, and it was that good still. But
that's how it's good.
Yes.
I had a friend in high school whose parents owned a restaurant, and man, I loved eating at their house because it was almost a little bit better than the restaurant. But man, when you've got a mind behind it, a food mind behind it, it makes all the difference in the world.
And we're going to work on probably at the first of the year doing the podcast from there too at one time. So be on the lookout for that as well. The all new Smoke on the Water is available for catering and has its food truck. For more information on that, call 864-232-9091. The all new Smoke on the Water will be located again at 64 Beacon Drive, just off Restaurant Row on Pelham Road. Again, that's 864-232-9091 for more information and catering. Also, want to say, Alex, give a shout out to FanDuel. We're going to do our picks. FanDuel, the podcast is presented each week by FanDuel as our title sponsor. So we appreciate them as well. Go to FanDuel Sportsbook for all the latest bets and props and whatever you want to do that you enjoy in football. They got it all over there at FanDuel. So go check it out at the FanDuel Sportsbook on their website. You will love that. And we're going to get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, Alex, we got Pickmas this week.
I like Pickmas. I like that.
We got Pickmas. We got 12 games we're going to go through. I got to get a little catch up in me. All right. I was out for a week. We got to get a little catch up. Ashby stood in for me. She doesn't represent me on the pick side. Thankfully, she didn't have the best week this time.
Yes.
Hey, who does? I mean, these games are nuts. This college football playoff last weekend was a blast. Oh man, it was fun to watch. It sucks when your team's not playing in it. Mm-hmm. But there were some fun games, except for the group of 5 thing. Can we stop doing that? Can we stop letting these little schools in? I mean, I get the idea behind it. Like, let's be equitable, but do I want to watch James Madison and Tulane get the brakes beat off of them again? Not really.
I don't think you're going to see 2 teams get in it anymore. I think this is a one-time thing. Remember, next year, a lot of people don't know this. The tournament, first of all, Notre Dame is in the top 13. Notre Dame's in. If they're in the top 13. And then and of course, it's going to probably go to 16 playoff next year. And part of that is the automatic qualifiers for the Power 4 conferences. So Duke would have gotten in the tournament if they would have won the ACC next year and the way they did this year. Right. that will keep that from happening. And, and the conference champions will get in. All 4 conference champions will get in. Major Power 4 conference champions. And of course, there'll be one from the Power 5 that will get in, from the Group of 5, that'll get in as well. So I don't know if we'll see this situation again, Alex, unless, again, you have 2 teams that are ranked that high. But, I don't blame James Madison and them for being in it, because it's the ACC's fault. Because you messed up on your tiebreakers, and you probably...
Yeah, and if you think it's bad this year, just wait till next year when it's just a complete cluster.
I'm glad you brought that up.
The ACC was like, you know what? Since we had such a disaster with the tiebreakers this year, why don't we have like some of the teams play 8 games and some of them play 9 games, and then we'll play rock, paper, scissors to see who gets to go to Charlotte? I mean, what the hell are we doing?
Yes. So basically, if you haven't been paying attention to the news, last Tuesday, the Atlantic Coast Conference announced its 9-game scheduling and who the teams are going to play in their 9 games. Yet only 12 teams are going to play 9 games next year. The other 5 are going to play 8 games. Well, Clemson is one of those other 5. It's Clemson, Boston College, Florida State, Georgia Tech, and North Carolina are the other 5 teams. And the reason why is because they have previous commitments with other Power 5 conference, non-conference opponents, so they need to play that out. Well, oh, by the way, Alex, in 2027, Clemson will be the only team that plays 8 conference games. That's fair. And because Clemson has its series with Notre Dame, who, by the way, should just be playing in the ACC to begin with. So this is
now
all
the ACC did have, Jim Phillips and the athletic director from Notre Dame did have a productive 2-hour meeting last week. But every time they have a productive meeting, that basically means that Notre Dame gets to have its cake and eat it too, and the ACC gets screwed.
Yeah, I won't say where, but yes, that's exactly what happens. So that was the unfortunate side. It's like Notre Dame whines and just gets their way, and I don't understand why. I'm tired of it. Like, the ACC's in this mess right now because Notre Dame will not join the conference full time, and the ACC allows it to happen. And then the AD's guy, he's got the audacity to come out and complain about Jim Phillips taking care of Miami and promoting Miami and getting Miami in and not helping Notre Dame and kind of hurting Notre Dame. I'm like, dude, you're not in the conference. Miami is. You don't give the conference anything in football. You take all of it.
Yeah.
You take all of it. And you don't share with anybody in football. So if you went to the college football playoff, you wouldn't share a dime of it. Yeah. So why would Jim Phillips want you to get in over Miami? What, have you lost your mind?
Yeah, and I do want to give credit where credit's due for probably the first time ever for Jim Phillips. I want to give credit to Jim Phillips for sticking up for his member schools over a quasi-member school. Correct. When it came to getting a team in the college football playoff. That's probably the first thing since COVID that I've been happy that Jim Phillips stood up for his member schools, that he did what it took to get his team in the college football playoff instead of getting Notre Dame in for some reason.
Alex, and next year, college football playoff committee, whoever's doing it next year, put Notre Dame at 14 just so they can't get in. Just rank them 14. They're ranked at number 14. They can't get in because then they'll finally, let it happen 2 years in a row. And then they'll finally decide, maybe we need to get in the conference. Maybe we need to get in the conference so we can assure that we're in the dance. Because why does Notre Dame get to go to these get to go to the college football playoff meetings? Graham Neff don't just get to go to the conference to the meeting
to represent Clemson's interest.
It's just Clemson's interest. No, he has to go represent the ACC's interest if he goes. Now, anybody else in the ACC, they don't just get to go do that. Why is it Notre Dame just gets to go do these things? Like, who said they haven't won a national championship since 1988? Yep. So why is Notre Dame considered like the be all? And by the way, could we stop saying people who won national championships in 1925 when they won the Will Vandervort and Alex Dodd national championships, that those are considered national championships? Because I'm tired of it. Like, it's like, can we just go to the AP and say this is where it starts, just like we do in the Super Bowl? Yeah, we note that the Packers won NFL championships before the Super Bowls. We know that. But everybody looks at the Super Bowl and says that's where you really won you won a world championship because you played
Right.
the AFL and everything like that. Well, that's what college football needs to start doing. Go to the AP poll. 1936 it started. From 1936 to now, that's how many you've won. All that other crap you can keep in your own place and all that, but you can't say on the NCAA's official sites and all, these are what national championships you won. That's a bunch of bogus malarkey. It's just bull crap, as Dabo likes to say. And, I'm just tired of – and then Notre Dame throws it in your face all the time. Well, we won the 1929 championship with Newt Rockne, and no, you didn't win no national championship in 1929.
We were the champions of the Great Depression.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, come on, man. Get out of here with that junk. I'm tired of Notre Dame, man, and they're like thinking they're better and bigger than everybody. They're not. They haven't done anything. They got their butts kicked by Clemson in the college football playoff. They got their butts kicked last year in the national championship. They got their butts kicked by Alabama in the national championship a few years ago. They got their butts kicked by Alabama in the college football playoff back in 2020. Like, just get out of here with it, okay? We're tired of you. Join the conference like everybody else and earn your way in like everybody else has to, and not just be like, oh, we were better than Miami at the end of the year. I guarantee you wouldn't have went to Texas A&M and won because you couldn't beat Texas A&M in the regular season.
and you know
at
what?
Home.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is that they're whining about not getting in the college football playoff over a team that beat them.
I know.
Like, if you're going to complain about somebody, and I know they won this past weekend, complain about Alabama, who just got their butt kicked in the SEC championship game. Complain that you should have got in over them. Don't complain that you should get in over the team that beat you.
And by the way, did you know of teams that lost their conference championships in the college football playoff era? Every team has fallen in the rankings except Alabama, who's done it twice.
Yep.
They've lost twice in the conference championship, and they either stayed the same or moved up. I think they stayed the same in both. But then they also weren't even in a conference championship. They're still the only team to get into the playoffs in the 14 field without winning the championship. and they end up winning the national championship. So you give them credit because they end up winning the national championship that year. But they should not have been in it. I'm sorry. Alabama now, like Notre Dame, gets a little bit of benefit of the doubt. But you know what, Alex, I can't go too much on Alabama. You know why? Because they're in a conference.
And they won the game.
And they won the game. And they won both times.
Yep.
And they won all 3 times, actually. So, I can't complain about Alabama. I really can't. I can't complain about Alabama. They're in a conference. I'm not going to complain about it.
Did you see the other Notre Dame news today? It just came out.
Okay.
Or, well, I guess not today. It came
Breaking
out.
news.
Yeah, on Monday morning. Notre Dame and USC will not play next year because they couldn't come to an agreement. So Notre Dame instead will play BYU twice instead of playing USC.
I wonder why that is. You know why? Because Southern Cal's like, why in the world are we going to help you out?
Yep.
Join a conference. I wish the ACC, Clemson needs to do it. Clemson needs to say, you know what? We're going to cancel our series until you join the conference. Then we'll play.
I don't want that to happen because I want the game to happen. But
but if it gets them to join a conference, I would. And that's another thing. When he complained about the ACC hurting them, I guess he forgot the $22 million the ACC saved them in 2020 when they couldn't get a schedule together because of COVID, because they would have no conference, so they can't play inside a conference.
Yeah, just single-handedly saved their football program.
Single-handedly I would say saved the program, but it saved that season.
Well, I mean, that's
like
like
$22 million that NBC gives them.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a death penalty, though. I mean, that's like your coach is going to coach somewhere else and your players are going to play somewhere else situation.
Yeah, and so what did the ACC do? The ACC gave them a schedule. Allowed them in the conference, gave them a schedule. And how did they return that favor? By cussing out the ACC, basically, and saying, you damaged our relationship. And get over yourself. I'm sorry.
Irreparably damaged
our
relationship.
Yes. And I'm sorry. I know Tim Beret is a great friend of our program and has come on here. And Tim, this ain't directed to you. I know you love your Irish, as you should, at your alma mater. But Tim, I don't like your AD right now. I'm just going to be honest. And so I was keeping it as it is. I know he's doing his job and he's got the best interest of Notre Dame at heart, but he's got to find better arguments than the ones he gave. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the real issue, is that instead of finding a real argument, they just wanted to pack their ball up and go home. They're not playing in a bowl game. They're just going to pout while Marcus Freeman interviews for NFL head coaching jobs next month. They're just going to pout.
How snooty is that? That they didn't even play in a bowl game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's snooty. I'm sorry. And I know a couple other teams didn't either, but theirs was because
They have 5 wins.
Or they were going through finding a new head coach, and they had all that going on. So there's reasons other than just we got our feeling circus. We didn't get the playoff, and so we're going home. That's what happened. That's what Notre Dame did. That's Notre Dame's reason.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Iowa State's because they lost their head coach.
Now, I didn't have on my run of show that we were going to talk about Notre Dame for 20 minutes, but hey,
you got me started.
You got to take care of business.
You got to. Iowa State, Penn State. Iowa State and big teams that didn't
Kansas State.
Kansas State. Both were looking for new coaches.
Yeah.
And then the others, like you said, were 5-7, as they
Yep.
should. I'm glad they didn't take bowls because 5-7 teams shouldn't be bowl games. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You don't really. A bowl game is supposed to be a reward. Not that going 6-6 is a reward. Sorry, Penn State, but you did qualify by what the NCAA says is a reward to go to a bowl game. So you give you that.
You met the criteria.
You met the criteria, so it is what it is. All right, Alex. The game we all knew was going to happen in the postseason. Clemson versus Penn State. For all the marbles in the Pinstripe Bowl. We didn't know it was going to happen in the Pinstripe Bowl, as we said earlier. We thought it would happen in the college football playoff. But here we are. Your early thoughts and then we'll get into the game here and talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I like the matchup. I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on the game compared to other bowl games just because of the brand names. Also because I think there's still a lot of people in the college football world who are like, what the heck happened to these two teams?
Right.
Penn State's is a little bit easier to figure out. Their starting quarterback got hurt. Their coach got fired. Everything took a dark turn in like 3 weeks. But I think there'll be a lot of eyes on this game. And I think there are still expectations for the future of both of these programs. Penn State goes out and makes what I think was a slam dunk hire, despite it being like the 10th name on their list, and Matt Campbell. The guy's a winner. The guy's a culture guy. Mm-hmm. If you can win at Iowa State, you can win at Penn State. That's the way I feel about it. So I think there'll be a lot of eyes on it from that. And then Clemson too. I think people are intrigued to see what Clemson's going to look like in the future. And I don't think this game necessarily has any bearing on the future. Because Clemson's staff, like we've mentioned, is going to look different next year. Clemson's roster is going to look different next year. But we do get a glimpse at the future with this roster because of the fact that it's the attrition bowl.
It is the attrition bowl, and I'm trying to make sure I get all the exact numbers up. That is you probably got that from my headline, right? The attrition bowl.
Yeah.
You got that story the other day. Which is, I had a lot of fun writing that story. But it was interesting to do it because, and we'll talk about, let's talk about what we know. Okay. Peter Woods, TJ Parker, DeMonte Capehart, Avion Terrell, Khalil Barnes, and Wade Woodaz on Clemson's defense will not play. Wade Woodaz, of course, is due to injury. Khalil Barnes is due to the transfer portal. And then the others that I mentioned are due to the NFL draft.
Yep.
So Antonio Williams also came out earlier last week and said he will not play, also due to the NFL draft. He will go ahead and just get ready for the draft. And then Colin Sadler will miss the game as well because of an injury to his shoulder. So he's another guy that will miss due to injury. So, there you go. Again, Woods, Parker, Terrell, Capehart, and Williams, along with Woodaz and Colin Sadler. Clemson's missing a lot, but Clemson ain't by themselves. Penn State also has some. By the way, Clemson 26 scholarship players, I believe, coming out. 17 thanks to injuries. So they'll have 20. They'll be missing 26 players, 17 due to injuries, others due to transfer portal and opting out. And then, like I said, Clemson's not alone. Penn State has several key players in the game as well that will be missing. 4 of its starters have officially opted out. Those 4 are safety Zachary Wheatley, defensive tackle Zane Durant, running back Nick Singleton, and offensive guard Vega Lone. Junior cornerback Elliott Washington and freshman edge rusher Chaz Coleman have also announced that they plan to enter the transfer portal. So that's 6 players right there, 6 key contributors to their team that are not going to play, Alex, in the bowl game.
Yeah, and then when you look at Penn State's roster, you got to think some of these other guys maybe are not going to play that much. Like Katron Allen, the other running back, he's a senior. He's
Clemson hopes they don't play.
He's the 7th running back on Mel Kiper's board. This is a guy that's like a day 2 draft guy.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't imagine that he's going to play a ton and risk injury. I mean, there's also always the potential with Penn State, like me and you were talking before the show, that like a Cam Ward situation, like a guy comes out and plays the first half and sits the second, or a guy plays the first quarter, or a guy goes up to New York and is on the sideline as an extra assistant coach.
Yes.
There's always these possibilities. So who knows what Penn State's roster is going to look like going into this game. And, Clemson, we know what names are going to be there, but you don't know what kind of production you're going to get from some of these younger guys, particularly on the defense, a defense that had, problems of its own with the starters at times this year.
Right. So Terry Smith, as you mentioned, Alex, he said that he's not placed a deadline on when players can opt out. This is what he said last week. I think this is like last Thursday or Friday. He said this. He says, we live in a world of NIL, the transfer portal, players come and go. He said, we will just cross that bridge as they come. So we'll just manage it as is and keep progressing. And like I said, we're going to put together the best team going forward for the bowl game, and we're going to play hard. End quote from Terry Smith, the interim head coach at Penn State right now. So,
play hard bowl.
What that tells me is he's got some more players that are coming down the line that aren't going to play.
Yeah, and I imagine that he knows already who those players are. I mean,
because why else would he say that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're doing a little bit of fan service, but at the same time, kind of like we talked before the show too, it's what's the difference? Like that Clemson knows in this meaningless game, what players are going to be out and they can game plan a little bit better. I mean, I don't really get the whole we're going to surprise you with an opt out the day of the game. I don't get that.
Well, and I think Clemson's regardless, they're preparing for Allen, right? Allen, who averaged 1,300 yards this season, averaged 108 yards a game rushing, number 2 in the Big Ten in rushing yards.
1,300 yard running back,
15 touchdowns, which led the conference. First team All Big Ten running back. They're going to run the football. We've talked to all the Clemson players, and they're all like defensive guys that are. But Will Helt, by the way, big news. Will Helt has already signed an agreement with Clemson. He is coming back. So good news for Dabo Swinney. Good job for Dabo Swinney. And go ahead. Let's get the big fish first. Let's get him.
Yeah, and I think it says a lot about Will Helt and how much he loves Clemson that he's coming back. I mean, this is a guy that, we thought could be a day 2 draft pick. I mean, he had that kind of a season.
I would love for him to be wearing black and gold and be the next TJ Watt. I mean, that guy, that guy's who he reminds me of.
That's a good comp because he's a high motor guy. He doesn't give up on a play. He'll make the tackle from behind on a running back going away from him. I mean,
he can play coverage. He could do all the things.
He can drop back in coverage. He can take the flat. He can jump up and get his arms in the throwing lane. But that's a huge piece to come back on this defense that, Tom Allen needed a win in the offseason, and he's already got one. And I imagine based off of his comments that he expects a few more wins from the portal.
I think he does. And Tom Allen basically said, we're going to
go Dabo's playing coy. Tom Allen wasn't.
Tom Allen was not playing coy at all. He's like, we're going to get the portal. We're going to go get guys. We need some guys. And
he said that like week 6.
He did. He right after the Duke game, he said it again. He's not been shy about saying he needs the players here, which he does. And everybody always talks about Brent Venables, and I always bring up it was year 3, that 2014 season, before Brent Venables' defense really got going.
I mean, it was
had to
like
get his guys in here.
Look at Oklahoma. I mean, it took him a couple years at Oklahoma. I mean, you're talking about a team that for 15 years was one of the worst defensive teams in the country. And then, it took a couple years, but now, despite the result against Alabama, he had the best defense in the country this year, in my mind.
Well, and he had the best defense in the SEC. I mean, he did.
Yep.
Statistically shows that. And I think, you'll see that continue with him. And I think with Tom Allen, it's the same thing. I think it's going to take time. You saw improvement. I know fans out there are like, well, I didn't really see him tackling any better. Wrong. Clemson ranked 2nd in the nation in fewest missed tackles. So guess what? his thing he was preaching, we're going to be the best tackling team in America. He was almost right.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah, and it did take a little while. It took about halfway through the season for that defense to start showing you a lot of the promise it did.
Yeah.
But you saw the scheme start to work.
Especially there toward the end. I think you
Yep.
really did see it start to work. And I think you're going to see it now with a couple weeks to coach it up some more. And the guys that are coming back that they can count on, they know are there. I think you'll be okay. Now, a lot of people, Alex, are asking like, oh my gosh, Will, you lost TJ Parker. You lost Peter Woods. You don't have Jaheim Lawson, so that's 3 guys on the offense side. You don't have DeMonte Capehart.
Right.
I get it, guys. You don't have Wade Woodaz.
But you know what you do have are some guys that in those last few weeks of the season were getting more reps and showing you a lot of promise, like Cade Denhoff. The much maligned Cade Denhoff. The last couple weeks of the season.
Start.
Yep, the last couple weeks of the season showed you a lot of promise at defensive end. I liked how he was able to get out in space. You saw it in the South Carolina game.
He's going to have to set the edge because they're gonna. We know what Penn State's going to do. They're going to run to that left side of the line. They're going to challenge it. So he's going to have to set the edge, or the right side of the line, I should say, depending on the offensive standpoint. They're going to try to set that. But what you do is you move Will Helt around.
Yeah, that's what you do.
That's what you do. And
you throw in a lot of different looks at the offensive line to where they can't.
And I think Clemson's going to be
Will Helt every time.
And I think Clemson's going to play a lot of 3 linebackers in this game. How they do those 3 linebackers, how they deploy them, I don't know. But I think you feel good though having Sammy and Alexander out there as far as when it comes to tackling. Now, you do lose a guy in Khalil Barnes who likes to get down there and get dirty. And I know some people are like, well, he got run over at Louisville. And I understand that. But Khalil Barnes was not afraid to get down there and tackle and get in and disrupt the run. So they're going to lose that at safety with Khalil Barnes leaving. So we'll see who can fit in that and fit that piece. Yeah. I think who you do to fit that piece? You put Hannafin in there because he don't care. And that way you ain't got to worry about him busting coverage on the back end.
Yeah, and here's the other thing too about Penn State. It's not like this is a team that's going to be able to, throw the ball like crazy on you. I mean,
well, you would think not.
I mean, Ethan Grunkemeyer has played 10 games and still doesn't have as many passing yards as Drew Aller did in 6. And let's not act like Drew Aller was having an exceptional season before he got injured. Grunkemeyer's got 1,079 passing yards. He's been very efficient.
64% of his passes.
Yeah, he's been very efficient. 4 picks, 6 touchdowns. His long is 75 yards. He's averaging 107 yards passing a game. I mean, this is sitting in an offense that's going to burn you in the pass game. But they can take advantage and be opportunistic on some play action.
And their passing game got better as the season went along, especially with his tight ends as he started finding the tight ends more, which is what Penn State does. His tight end knew for a reason. So it's going to be an interesting match, though, because, again, how long does Allen play? And they've already had one offensive lineman that's opted out, so they're going to be a little bit weaker on the offensive line than they would have been. So, Alex, how long do they play Allen? How long does he want to play? Does he play the first half and then sit out, or does he play only the second half? Or does he not play at all? We don't know. Like, I think that's the key thing because they're already down one of their big running backs, right? And a guy who was twice a 1,000-yard rusher the last 2 years. Hold on, my name's my goodness, Will, use your brain. Helping me out, Alex. Who's their second leading rusher this year?
Penn State?
Yeah, it was running back Nick Singleton.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. Nick Singleton. He didn't have great numbers this year, but he scored 12 touchdowns.
Yep.
Very productive. He has been
13 touchdowns.
13 touchdowns.
Yep.
And he also had over 500 yards rushing. He the last year he went over 1,000 yards rushing. Then his freshman year at Penn State, he went over 1,000 yards rushing. So this is a guy who's got over 3,000 yards in his career running the football. Has scored more than, I think, 30-something touchdowns. So, they're going to miss that production. So there's already one guy out. So that's,
and it's 4.5 yards a carry. That's the other thing.
That's another thing.
I mean, if you look at Penn State's numbers, their number 3 rusher coming into this game was Drew Aller, and he's going to be there.
And Drew Aller, how long since week 6?
Yeah, since week 6, and Trevor Pena is their next guy, and he's got 69 yards rushing this year. So you do make it, instead of a two-pronged, bona fide Russian attack, it's a one-headed monster now. So you know how to attack it.
Right.
But still, I mean, Katron Allen he's a boss.
He's a boss. And that offensive line's a boss. You heard, if you would listen to Will Helt talking about it, who knows that Penn State offensive line all too well when he's at Purdue. He's like, they're going to come and hit you. They're going to smack you in the mouth. They're going to run the football. Sammy Brown's like, we know what they want to do. They want to run the football. We got to be able to stop it. That's what it's going to come down to. And I think that's the game plan, right? Make that freshman quarterback beat you.
Yeah.
I think that's Tom Allen's game plan. Like, okay, Allen ain't going to beat us. If anybody's going to beat us, it's going to have to be that quarterback and those receivers.
And you are down your best cover corner. I mean, let's call it what it is.
Yeah, but though I think what's his name, Strozier, I think really stepped up in the South Carolina game, and I think he turned the corner. I really believe that, and I think Ashton Hampton has become a lockdown quarter. He showed it the last half of the season. Since that Duke game, he has been, and really the Duke game, it wasn't really anything was his fault in that Duke game.
Right.
He was doing his job. He's real. I mean, he locked down Horn when Terrell went out. He locked down Horn.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
South Carolina's receiver. He locked him down.
Or Harbor. You talk Harbor.
Nick Harbor. Yeah, Horn. I was thinking a couple years ago. My bad. Nick Harbor. He locked him down after that. Nick Harbor was not a factor in the game after that, really at all.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with Clemson.
And then Ricardo Jones, obviously Ricardo Jones did what Ricardo Jones did in the game too.
If Ricardo Jones continues to just do his job and not try to be Troy Polamalu, then he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But he can't be Troy. He's not a Troy Polamalu. He just needs to be Ricardo Jones and be where he needs to be. And if he does that, then he'll be in the right place to go get the ball because he could be an Ed Reed if he does.
He's a ball hawk.
He's a ball hawk like Ed Reed was. So just do what Ed Reed does. Don't do what Troy Polamalu did. Okay? So, and he did that the last couple games, and that's why he's second in the country in interceptions coming into this game. And I like to think he can have some plays in this game. Here's the thing. It reminds me, and we're going to flip it here to the offensive side. This game reminds me of a lot of the Gator Bowl a couple years ago. Clemson went in that game with 63 people on their roster.
Yep.
Nobody knew what was going to happen. They had some guys that opted out. They had a couple guys decide to stay, and they found a way to win the game when it mattered the most. The advantage Clemson has in this game is they got a quarterback who's played in this kind of game.
Yeah.
In Cade Klubnik, who he played really well in that Kentucky game, and he's one of the main reasons why they won that game that day. So you like that, that you got Cade Klubnik, and let's give Cade Klubnik applause. Alex, we've been hard on Cade Klubnik on this show. We have criticized him as much as anybody when it was warranted. I'm going to give him credit for coming back because he really didn't need to. He don't have to come back and play in this game. It's not going to help his stock one way or the other.
Right.
But he's going to play in this game, and the reason he's going to play in this game, and this is why, as a Clemson fan, you should love Cade Klubnik. If you're a Clemson alumni, you should love Cade Klubnik because guess what? He's coming back to this game because he loves Clemson.
Yep.
That's why he's playing in this game and risking himself harm. By the way, he's not 100%. His thumb is broken. He's been having ankle issues since mid-season. He's not 100%, and yet he's coming back to play because he loves Clemson University, and he wants to represent Clemson one more time. Applause to Cade Klubnik, in my opinion. Just give him applause.
Yeah, I mean, that's admirable, and that's kind of the point that I made, too, after that Furman game when he got his moment when Dabo pulled him out of the game and he got his standing ovation. You could just see on that kid's face that he loves Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
And as many ups and downs as he's had in his career, he's stuck it out and come back the next week. He's answered the questions. He's took the criticism. He hasn't moped around. He hasn't, siloed himself off from the community and went and hid in a hole. And there have been players at Clemson that have done that before.
Yep.
That have been criticized and they've said, screw you. You say screw me, I say screw you. There have been players like that before.
Right.
In Clemson history. And Cade Klubnik's not one of those guys. He's he's going to wear the paw for the rest of his life and be proud of it. And you should be proud of him for that.
Absolutely.
Because I'm telling you, if Clemson University and the Clemson fan base talked about me the way they talked about Cade Klubnik, I don't know if I could say the same thing. Honestly, I don't think I would show the same resilience to stick up for Clemson if Clemson gave me what a lot of Clemson people gave Cade Klubnik.
I agree. And I will say this about him. He reminds me a lot of Rodney Williams. I know you don't. Your dad probably could tell you about that, but Rodney Williams was sort of a love-hate relationship with Clemson. Rodney Williams loves Clemson, but when he played, he took a lot of crap. Yeah. Clemson fans dogged him all the time, and all that Rodney Williams did was win. That's all he did was win, and they dogged him all the time. But then when they realized how much Rodney Williams loved Clemson, then everybody loves Rodney Williams because he loves Clemson the way he did. And does still to this day. That's why he's given to the program so much in the university. And Cade Klubnik's going to be that guy. 10, 15 years from now, Cade Klubnik's going to be that guy that's going to give back to the university. He's going to help the football program if he can and do whatever he can because he loves Clemson. And in this day and age, when there's no loyalty to schools at all anymore from players, it's refreshing when you see a guy like Cade Klubnik, who loves his school and his university. He graduated the other day, and he talked about that with us at the media, how it was just how excited he was to graduate, and his folks were coming, and that was like a big, as it should be. It was a huge deal for them as he's graduating from Clemson. He's not graduating from Texas A&M like his mom and dad did, like his sister did.
Right.
He chose to leave that comfort zone that his family has to go to all the way across the country to little old Clemson and quarterback Clemson and did it admirably. He's one of the all-time winningest quarterbacks in the history of the program. So he's a winner. I don't care what you say about the guy. He's a winner. He leaves with a winning record against South Carolina. He got that done.
2 ACC championships.
He's got 2 ACC championships. Yes, he has 2 because I know he didn't start the first one, but doggone it.
But he finished it.
He finished it, and he was a doggone MVP of the game. So, so he got 2 ACC championships, and he led Clemson to the college football playoff. To me, that puts you in that conversation of being one of the best. I'm not saying he is the best, but he's up there.
Yeah.
And he deserves to be up there. He's done that. His numbers show that as a quarterback, and his win-loss record shows that as a quarterback, and his accomplishments show that. So, again, Cade Klubnik, congrats, man, on a great career. I think everybody out there who's a Clemson fan should just appreciate Cade Klubnik and what he's done, and then also how he's going to represent Clemson University going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And, getting back to the game, he's the X factor in this game.
Yeah.
He's played without Antonio Williams before. He did it a few times this year. He did it a lot last year. He's run this offense without him. He knows how to manage it. Now, he hasn't had the best numbers without Antonio Williams in the game.
That's true.
But we'll see. We'll see if he can get over that in this Pinstripe Bowl. It's not going to be easy. The good news is he has Adam Randall behind him still. He's still got Gideon Davidson in the backfield. He's still got TJ Moore. He's still got Tyler Brown, who, it's going to be good to see him back on the field because, a lot of the time this year he was kind of MIA.
Another guy. You just mentioned 2 other guys that are Clemson guys. Tyler Brown loves Clemson.
Yep.
You can see it when he's talking to the media. And Adam Randall. Is there another guy that loves Clemson as much as Adam Randall? That guy, he's changed the position, and he took a lot of crap and heat. And look at him, man. He's, I wish Adam Randall could get one more year because I think he could be a top-level running back in college football next year if he could get one more year, which would make him a very high draft pick if he could.
I think so, too. I think he's going to be a kind of a diamond in the rough for somebody that takes a chance on him. Either late in the NFL draft or in a free agent signing. This is a guy that can make a difference for you on the cheap.
Yeah.
But a guy who,
running back.
Again, yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers, dude. Come on, Pittsburgh. Yeah. Let's go.
I like the 2 we have right now.
I do like the 2 we have right now, but we could use a third. Johnson's there. I guess they. Anyway, Johnson, I think Johnson should still be good. Anyway, I won't get into the Pittsburgh Steelers. By the way, who won yesterday and are 1 win away from clinching the AFC North. Got to throw that in there. Big win for the Steelers. Actually, we might have it clinched, Alex, before the game of Cleveland starts next week, because if the Ravens lose next Saturday night at Green Bay,
Yeah, which is going to be interesting to see. I mean, who's going to be playing quarterback for either team?
I know, right?
Malik Willis versus Huntley. The big
That's
game in Lambeau.
That's what you had on your bingo card for Week 17 of the NFL, didn't you?
I'll tell you what I didn't have on my bingo card, and this is a major digression. I did not have two of the best teams in the NFL this year, being the Chicago Bears and the Jacksonville Jaguars. But credit Ben Johnson and Liam Cohen for two of the best one-year turnaround coaching jobs that I've probably seen in a long time, maybe ever.
Look, let's just be honest. It's not like they inherited crap, though.
No, I mean, they had some good pieces.
Heisman Trophy caliber quarterbacks.
Right, but they both made moves in the interior offensive line.
They did.
And they both made some peripheral moves to get some veteran guys in the skill positions that paid off in a big way. But didn't have that either. So credit our boy Trevor Lawrence for playing like we thought he would.
Clemson football
and
#1 overall pick in the 2021 draft, and
he's playing like it. He's playing like an MVP right now. Let's call it what it is.
He is, man. He tied a Tom Brady record yesterday. Yep. Okay, him and Tom Brady, the only two players in the history of the league to do this, and that's throw 5 touchdowns and run for 2 touchdowns in 3 game sample. In three game sample.
Yeah.
I can't believe Tom Brady ran for 2 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence, no surprise.
Well, and then last week, Trevor Lawrence had a stat line that a quarterback had never had in the history of the NFL.
Yes.
So those are the kind of things he's doing. Records. And then Travis Etienne is leading the NFL in receiving touchdowns for a running back right now.
He's Travis earned that contract. You think they're going to sign him now? They're going to sign him.
I think so. I think they're going to give him a bag. But we digress. We need to get back to the Pinstripe Bowl.
Hey, we're talking to Clemson players, though. We don't digress. We're talking Clemson football players. And by the way, Barrett Carter got his first interception yesterday for Cincinnati Bengals, so congrats to Barrett. The Bengals get a big road win down in Miami, who are wearing the sweetest-looking uniforms.
Why do they not wear those every week?
Dude, and they had the 1970s logo on it, and with how big it was on the helmet. Yeah. Like, dude, that was sweet, man. Our boy Alex Turry, I know your team lost, but I'm sure you love the thing. By the way, Alex Turry, how did you like that game with the Steelers on Monday night? You got two Steelers fans sitting here. We're kind of wondering. We didn't hear from you in the group text.
I didn't hear anything.
We didn't hear anything. Just crickets. From him, So I hope he's listening. We love our boy Alex, who works over at USA Today, Clemson site, Wire. I think Clemson Wire, right?
Yeah, Clemson Wire
works over there. I will see him at the Pinstripe Bowl, by the way. So
there you go.
There will be an Alex and Will reunion.
Hey, I'm telling you, if me and my father-in-law is coming for Christmas, they're on the way right now from the airport with Rachel, and I'm telling you, if there is a will, there's going to be a way for us to be in New York on Saturday. We'll just see. To be determined.
To be determined. All right.
To be determined. But I told Rachel.
Breaking news here, Alex.
I told Rachel, I'm like, they could take back all of my Christmas presents. I'll take back all of his Christmas presents, and I'll buy the flight, and he can get us a hotel for a night, and we'll see what happens.
Tickets are only $75.
Dude, you can get 2 tickets for $60. I'll do you one better. 2 tickets for $60.
But make sure you're not sitting by the foul poles, though.
Yeah, I mean, no.
The tickets not by the foul poles are $75.
True.
So go get those. I
can
tell you what section.
All I'm saying is Alex Turry might be the move. That might be the ticket. If Alex Turry has like a couch and a cot, that might be the move. We got to figure it out. But we got to talk about this offense before we get out of here. Clemson's offense versus Penn State.
Yes, we do. And we got bowls. We got bowl picks.
Yeah, and we got Mary Pickmas coming up too.
Mary Pickmas. We promised we got to deliver. We can't go ball humbug on them. All right, Alex. So Clemson's offense versus their defense. Clemson's offense. Listen, Penn State didn't have as many opt-outs on their defensive side of the ball. Now,
right. And Clemson didn't have as many on their offensive side either.
Yeah, but Clemson's got a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Antonio Williams not playing, whether you want to call it opt-out or injuries, he wasn't going to play anyway. You down Colin Sadler now on the offensive line. So, again, another starter on the offensive line is down. Going to start Ronan O'Connell will be starting at left guard, it looks like, in place of him. So, this will be – let's see, Ronan O'Connell. Who else? We had Colin Sadler and freshman Jacobs. We had 3 starters at left guard this season.
Yeah, and then we had our boy from last year, Elijah Thurman, who's been hurt the whole year.
He's been hurt the whole year. He's hadn't played since Georgia Tech game.
Yeah.
Walker Parks is out
Yep.
for injury. He got hurt against Louisville the last run that sealed the win for Clemson, I believe, or was that. Yeah. So, and then let's see what else we got. We mentioned Antonio Williams. I think that's it.
Well, we're to the point now.
Pat Henry. Pat Henry's out. So you're down starting tight end as well.
Well, Alex, we're to the point now, Will, where like your backups on the offensive line are guys that like you couldn't pick out of a lineup.
No, I mean, I don't know who's going to be. Like
Ian Reed, Chapman Pendergrass, Gavin Blanchard, and Mason Wade. Those are 4 of your backups on the offensive line.
Yeah, and then obviously the other senior guy that's been there he's going to be a backup. Man, help me out, Alex.
I'm blanking on it too.
Roster.
You've got it.
I got it right here. Hold on, just stand by. Was this alphabetical? Yes, it's alphabetical. Dietrich Pennington.
Yeah, Dietrich Pennington. Yeah.
Yeah. Now he's
listed currently as a co-starter, but
yeah, I think it's going to be, from all practices I saw, it's going to be O'Connell that's going to start at left guard. Just paying attention to practice. I could be wrong. I mean, there could be reasons why Pennington, wasn't showing us at that point. They could have changed that. So regardless, they're going to play a Penn State defense that has NFL talent on it.
Yep.
That hasn't played great this year. They're bottom half of their average to bottom half in total defense, scoring defense, rushing defense, and passing defense.
Which is crazy to think, because just the names on this defense, like you got NFL talent all over the board on this defense, and it's a veteran group.
Yep.
I mean, on their depth chart, you don't have anybody lower than a junior. You got 2 seniors with pluses and asterisks, redshirt super seniors, 2 of those. And you got all these redshirt seniors and veteran guys, and they just haven't lived up to expectations.
Now they lost a couple guys. Zake Wheatley is he's gone. That's their starting safety. He's going to go on to the NFL draft. That's why he's out. And then junior cornerback Elliott Washington, he's leaving to go in the transfer portal. So got a couple guys that have left. Also, freshman defensive end, who by the way, was recruited by Tom Allen. He's entering the portal as well in Chaz Coleman. So I'm just saying, maybe. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. There's something to watch that for, right? I mean, he was recruited by Tom Allen. I'm just saying.
A lot of guys.
So anyway, I think this is Clemson's offense can have some success moving the football here. I do like Clemson's offense in this situation. You got the veteran quarterback. You got a big playmaker, TJ Moore. Bentancur is a big playmaker at tight end. We know that. You got a playmaker and running back in Adam Randall. You got an offensive line that, with the exception of O'Connell, have played together now for several games. And remember how well they played against South Carolina. Yeah. That offensive line did, and they ran the football well. Again, I think Clemson, if the offensive line can play well, I think they can give Cade the time he needs. And I think Cade's leadership and, what you got with Tyler Brown, who's used to playing with them. Remember, everybody forgets Tyler Brown and him connected big time 2 years ago together. Yeah. So, and then you got TJ Moore, who's become a big time playmaker, since the injury to Bryant Wesco. So,
and you're going to get to see more Bentancur.
And by the way, Tristan Smith probably going to play because Cole Turner has been on the sideline wearing a yellow jersey in practice when we've seen. So I don't know if Cole Turner's even going to play. But it was weird. It doesn't look like anything physically is wrong with Cole Turner, which tells me, remember the concussion he got against South Carolina?
Yep.
That tells me that's still bothering him, which is interesting because that's been a month now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an exact science. So.
No, it's not. But it worries me, though.
Yeah.
I mean, still having complications from it this long after the fact. That tells you how bad of a hit that was, and I'm surprised targeting wasn't called. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it should have been.
I should have been called in that one. So anyway, there's what we got there. Alex, we got to get to it, man. It's Pickmas. Let's go.
All right, Merry Pickmas, everybody, presented by FanDuel. In honor of the 12 days of Christmas, which we are well past now, we've got 12 games that we're going to be picking. 4 of them are college football playoff games, and 8 of them are random bowl games, that some of which I don't even know the names of. So Will's going to have to help me. Will, you've got our official records coming into this week, which has you like 12 games.
Yeah, you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
And tell you that record again?
Yeah.
I don't mind always saying the record, just, So I lead with a 54-36 all-time record. I've done it a little bit more than Alex because I've been at every show, and Alex has opted out of a couple.
I had to, man. I had prior commitments.
So,
what were you last week, William?
I was 3-3 in the championship games. So Ashby was 2-4. So that makes me 54-36. Alex, you're 42-36, and Ashby is 6-6. So somebody, we're either all going to be stuck on 36 and 6, or we're going to find some 7s in there. Just saying.
We'll see.
So anyway, that's where we are. Let's see. We got to pull up bowl week.
So Will, what I'm hearing is if you go 0-12 and I go 12-0, that I could catch you.
Yeah. I mean,
we got to go by winning percentage though. At this point,
but you can catch me in wins.
Yes,
but you can't catch me. I don't know if you can catch me in percentage. But let's go.
Well,
if I lose all 12, you could.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
12. Yeah,
you'd be 54-48.
Yeah.
But we're not going to pick all differently on this game. All right, let's start it off with a bowl game that I don't even know.
Okay.
And that is Toledo versus Louisville. Do you know which bowl game this is, Will?
Yes, I do. Just give me a second. I'll tell you. Toledo versus Louisville.
It's in my brother's backyard. That's the Boca Raton Bowl.
This is the Boca Raton Bowl. That's right. And you know what? So our friend Alexis Cubitt, who used to cover Clemson, you remember Alexis. So I sent her a message because I couldn't remember what bowl, if it was the Fenway or the Pinstripe Bowl she covered, but she covered the Fenway Bowl.
Okay.
A couple years ago. And so I was asking about the thing, and she's like, well, have fun in New York. I was like, yeah, I forgot. Where are you guys going? She's like, I'm going to Boca Raton. I'm like, oh, rub it in.
Yeah.
Rub it in, Alexis. Come on. She covers Louisville, so she's going to the Boca Raton Bowl. So anyway, what you got there, Alex?
All right, so this is Louisville and Toledo. Louisville is a 7.5-point favorite against the team from the MAC.
These are going to be so hard to pick because we don't know who.
We don't know.
Everybody's opted out everywhere. It's like,
yeah.
So these are fun. This is going to be pretty much we're just like a wing and a prayer here.
Yeah, I mean, this is like how people pick the NCAA tournament that don't watch basketball. Like,
so what's this, -7, you said?
-7.5.
-7.5. Of course it's a half. It's Vegas. All right. Am I going first or you going first?
You can lead this one off, Will.
I'll lead this one off. Okay. I know nothing about Louisville. So I imagine their quarterback's coming back though, right?
You'd imagine so.
Yeah. Toledo is a typical team, group of 5 team, loaded on offense, always going to score a lot of points. They went 8-4 this year. They're not going to be very good on defense. I think Louisville will be able to run the football with their running backs. And so I'm going to go ahead. 7.5. I'm still going to go ahead. Give me Louisville on the 7.5.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Louisville on the 7.5 too, mainly because I don't know anything about Toledo. Just call it what it is.
Call it what it is.
Call it what it is.
All right, what do we got next, Alex?
All right, our next bowl, we're gonna sing what I don't even know the words that song. Melikalikilaka, is that it?
The Melikalikilaka Bowl?
Yeah, the Hawaii Bowl. That's how you say Merry Christmas in Hawaiian, right? Isn't that what that song says?
I think it is, yes.
All right, Cal is going out to Hawaii.
Okay.
And Hawaii is a 1.5-point favorite at home in a bowl game against the Golden Bears.
The Golden Bears, a new head coach and all that going on too. They got a good running game, though. They got a good quarterback. I'm going to go with Cal in this one. I think Cal likes it. They're going to go to, they got a chance to win 8 games, I believe. Yep. They bounced back after that horrible loss, to Stanford, their rival. Bounced back, got a win the next week to close the season. And they got a chance to win 8 games. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with Cal over Hawaii on that. What was the thing again? -1.5,
Hawaii -1.5. Yeah,
which
I'm
is
taking.
a home game for Hawaii.
Yeah, but I'm still taking Cal plus the 1.5. I mean, this is a bowl game. They're going to be out there. They're going to be acclimated. It's not like a regular season where you're flying in the middle of the week and missing 2 days of practice. So I got Cal with the points in this one.
Okay. All right. What we got next?
Next, we're going to go to the Pop-Tart Bowl. Number 22, Georgia Tech. At number 12, BYU. BYU is a 4.5 point favorite. I said at. BYU is a 4.5 point favorite in Orlando.
Is BYU's quarterback going to play?
He should. He was like a freshman.
But no, he got injured.
Yeah, you're right.
Big 12 championship game.
Bear Bachmeier.
Yes.
Let me see what his latest status is. Here we go, Google. Is Bear Bachmeier hurt? BYU said that it wasn't severe and he's expected to play in the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Okay, good. But Georgia Tech has the best quarterback in this game still.
Yep.
These two quarterbacks are both similar.
Yep.
I mean, they're very similar. They're going to run 25 times. But I just like ACC Offensive Player of the Year. I just like everything he does. I'm going to go Georgia Tech in this one. I just like Georgia Tech's running game in this game. I think their quarterback is the more experienced one. I just think he doesn't want to leave his last game at Georgia Tech to be a loss.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I got to stick with Haynes King. I've been riding with Haynes King for years now, and I think he's going to ride off into the sunset against BYU.
I think you're right. I agree 100%.
The next one is the Gator Bowl. Virginia versus Missouri. Missouri is a 4.5 point favorite.
Who's going to play quarterback for Missouri?
Who's going to play quarterback for Virginia?
Good point.
Is Chandler Morris going to be there?
I don't know. What's the injury status? What's the 4.5 point favorite for Missouri, you said?
Yep. Let's see. Chandler Morris injury update. Virginia is hopeful about Chandler Morris.
If he's hopeful, that's good. Hopeful is a lot better than not. And Missouri has had not for several weeks.
Yes.
So I'm going to – listen, Virginia's had a great year. They should have lost that ACC championship game.
Right.
They really shouldn't have. And I think, Chandler Morris going to go out on top, be one of the best quarterbacks in a single season in history of Virginia. The kid's a winner. He almost willed his team to a win in that ACC championship game.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Chandler Morris and the Wahoos here, and Tony Elliott as well. Clemson connection.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. I'm going Virginia. I think they want to end their season on a positive note, and I think Missouri doesn't really care about being there.
I'm with you.
That's kind of my take. Let's go to the Texas Bowl.
Nice.
LSU versus Houston.
I'm talking about two teams I don't care. One team that doesn't care about being there.
Yeah, Houston's a 2.5 point favorite, and I'm taking them all the way. You think Lane Kiffin gives a crap about this game?
Well, Lane Kiffin ain't coaching in it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Do you think he even cares what happens with his team?
No, I do not think so. I'm just glad all that mess is behind us now, and we're moving on. What's the spread on this?
Houston's a 2.5 point favorite.
2.5 point favorite. I'm with you, man. Give me the Cougars. I think LSU's done. I think they've been done. They've been done for weeks, and I just think, ever since Brian Kelly got fired, they were pretty much done.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Let's go with we're both going to take the Cougars on that one. Are we going to do anything where we try to see one person's going to win this bowl challenge? Because right now we've got all the same.
No, because you won't pick anything different.
I started first. So don't go there.
No, not on this one. I picked Houston.
I went with Louisville though first. So
all right, well, I'll pick the next one first too, but we're still going to end up picking the same damn thing. All right, now we're moving to December 30th in Nashville, the Music City Bowl. Tennessee is a 2.5 point favorite against Illinois. I'm going with Tennessee in this game. I know what Illinois did to South Carolina in a bowl game last year and, all that jazz. But, I mean, a de facto home game for Tennessee, that stadium's going to be, pretty well stocked with volunteer fans. I don't know if Illinois is going to be able to go on the road in this bowl game and beat them.
Yeah, what game is this again? This is the Liberty Bowl?
Music City Bowl.
Oh, the Liberty Music City Bowl. Liberty Mutual. That's why I messed up. Liberty
That's
Mutual.
not confusing at all.
I know, right?
Liberty Bowl, and now we have a Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you. It's going to be a home game. for the Volunteers, even though it's in Nashville, which is owned by Pavio and the Vandervort Commodores, who own Tennessee. By the way, yeah, I'm with you. I think Illinois is kind of like disappointed they didn't get in the playoffs and they didn't have the kind of year they were hoping for because they were in position earlier in the year. You remember they were in the top 10 and everything's going well. I know Tennessee was too, and everybody said, "Well, Tennessee was too, Will," and I get that, but I don't think any of us thought Tennessee was going to make playoffs. And so home game, I think that's the difference is that it's going to be a home game for Tennessee. Yeah, I'm with you on this one. Give me the Volunteers.
All right, and rounding things out, other than the Pinstripe Bowl, which we'll pick last, in the non-CFP bowl games, also on December 30th, we have the Alamo Bowl. Number 16, USC is a 6.5-point favorite against TCU.
Yeah, much better USC team.
Yeah, agreed.
Than they have been. 9-3, had a chance to make the college football playoff. They were there. They were in the mix. Next year they probably make the playoffs if they were 16. They might have made it. So if they were there, so the Horned Frogs lost their quarterback. He's gone. He entered the transfer portal. He's not going to play in the bowl game. I think that's what he said. So I'm gonna go with Southern Cal on this one.
Yeah, I got to take Southern Cal for the same reason. TCU not having Josh Hoover is going to be the difference in the game. That's why this line is kind of grown a little bit. So I'm going with USC. And we end this non-CFP bowl slate minus the Pinstripe Bowl, even on all of our picks. So I'm not making up any ground.
Nope.
And that brings us to the CFP games because we're picking the Pinstripe Bowl last.
And we know the CFP games.
Yeah, we do. We actually have watched these teams play, which is great. We're starting off with the Cotton Bowl. Miami versus Ohio State. Ohio State is a 9.5-point favorite coming off the bye. Will, what say you?
Why is Ohio State a 9.5-point favorite? That's the question. What has Ohio State done when they've played a good team this year offensively that tells me they're going to blow the doors off of Miami?
Yep.
What have they done? I've seen Miami play. I've seen Miami go in harsh conditions and play and find ways to win, either scoring a lot of points, a la Notre Dame, or, having to go just play a defensive slobber knocker against Texas A&M and find a way to win late in the game by running the football and playing good defense. I think Miami, man, might have hit the button. And I'm not saying Miami's going to win this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, though.
Yeah. So
give me Miami plus the 9.5.
I'm going the same. I just think the spread's too big for the same reasons you said. I'm like, I know Julian Saying got invited to New York and they've had this great year and everybody's, high on them and thinks they're just going to roll to the national title. But I just don't see them winning this game by 9 or 10 points.
They're not winning the national title.
Yeah, I don't see them winning the national title.
They're the fourth best team of the top four.
I wouldn't disagree with you on that. But I've got Miami with the points. Again, wouldn't be surprised if they won it straight up.
Okay.
To the Orange Bowl, Oregon is a 1.5-point favorite after beating up on Sister Mary of the Poor in the first round of the college football playoff because we allow those teams to be there. They're a 1.5-point favorite against Texas Tech.
Oregon's a 1.5-point favorite versus Texas Tech.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Oregon, but your season's going to come to an end because Texas Tech is real. Texas Tech can play some defense. Your quarterback can't throw the ball worth the snot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even their coach said it after the game. We didn't play very well. Dan Lanning said after the game, he knows this is a tough for Oregon to be a 1.5-point favorite. I'm saying thank you, Vegas, because I'm taking Texas Tech to win this game. So definitely give me Texas Tech plus the 1.5.
Yeah, give me Texas Tech straight up for the same reason. Texas Tech has arguably the best defensive player in the country, possibly the best player, period, in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's going to eat Dante Moore for lunch. I think he's going to have like 1 or 2 interceptions in this game because of what you meant. I mean, Dante Moore, he just can't read a defense. I mean, that's the way it looks to me. It looks like he can't read a defense.
It's that way to me.
And with as much as Texas Tech flies around on that side of the ball and mixes things up, I just don't see him winning this game. So I get Texas Tech straight up. Now to the Rose Bowl, where the national championship should be played every year, in my opinion. This game should not be in the quarterfinal. It should be the national championship venue. Alabama playing Indiana. Indiana, a 6.5-point favorite. Talk about teams that look like they figured it out last week. Alabama looked like they figured it out.
Alabama figured it out for one game.
Yep.
The difference is Indiana has an offense, and Indiana can play defense just as good.
Yep.
So what's the line again there?
6.5.
For the Hoosiers?
Yep.
Yeah, man, it's a high line.
It is.
But you know what? And I'm sorry, Alabama can't run the ball consistently. Indiana's physical, man. They're real. And by the way, Nick Saban basically coaches Indiana. Okay? And he didn't get the job at Alabama. And I know that there was talk maybe I don't know how serious he was ever considered because he was at JMU at the time.
Right.
When Alabama made the change. And that's why I think he went to Indiana, but Indiana took a chance with him where Alabama didn't. And he's a Nick Saban guy. Yep. And he does everything Nick Saban does. The whole program's built just like Nick Saban. It's all about the process and everything. Dude, give me Indiana to roll in this game. Give me Indiana minus the 6.5.
See, I kind of was feeling the same way as you that Indiana would roll in this game, and then I thought about Indiana's season, and they're not really a roll good teams kind of team. Oregon? I mean, they're a beat good teams team.
Dude, they went to Oregon and rolled them.
They beat Oregon
on the road and ended the nation's longest home winning streak. They rolled them. Yeah. That game wasn't even close, dude.
They beat Ohio State by 3 on a neutral field. They beat Penn State by 7 on the road. I think they beat Iowa by 5 on the road. I think Indiana wins the football game, but I don't think they roll. I think they win by 3 to 6 points.
Okay.
So I'm going to take Alabama with the points.
All right. There we go.
Now we have a difference.
We got a difference maker in there. Let's see if it stays that way.
We'll see. And now we go to the Sugar Bowl. Ole Miss versus Georgia. The Dogs are a 6.5-point favorite.
The question I ask is Ole Miss going to be better on defense against Georgia?
That's the question.
Because this was Georgia's best game from an offensive standpoint all year, 43-35. Now, it wasn't a great Georgia game defense because Ole Miss is hard to – you can't stop Ole Miss. I mean –
yeah, you can limit Ole Miss, but you can't stop them.
Exactly. But Ole Miss can't stop Georgia. And it's not like Georgia's this high-flying, offense.
Well, they've looked better the last few weeks.
They've looked better, but they ain't got Trevor Lawrence back there quarterbacking or Deshaun Watson.
Right.
That's my point. And they scored 43 points on you. And they ran all over you. I know it's going to be a home game for Ole Miss. I know it's going to be a home game because it's the thing. But Georgia travels too. And the Sugar Bowl is Georgia's second home as well. Or third home, because I guess the place in the Mercedes-Benz Dome would be the place in Georgia. Atlanta would be the number 2 home. I'm going to go. What was the line there with the Dogs?
Georgia 6.5.
Give me Georgia 6.5. I'm with it. I'm taking Georgia minus 6.5.
Yeah, I'm riding with the Silver Britches in this one too. I just think, Ole Miss is like a lame duck. They're a dead man walking, and I think Georgia's going to finish the job this week. And the Pete Golding era is going to seem less golden for people in Oxford.
I like it. All right, so right now the difference is I'm taking William Quackenbush's Indiana Hoosiers, and you got the new and improved Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yep, and now we have one game to go,
okay.
And that is the Pinstripe Bowl in New York City. Will, when are you heading up there?
Heading up Christmas. It'll be Christmas night. I'll be heading up.
You driving?
No, flying.
Oh, there you go. That's nice.
Yep.
Well, don't get Kevin McAllister. Don't get lost in New York. Make sure that your people are with you at all times.
I'll do my best.
And if you do get lost, go to the Plaza Hotel. It seems like they do.
By the way, I got to find a Steelers bar. So anybody in the comments, they want to just tell me a good Steelers bar in New York, I would much appreciate it because Steelers play the Browns on the 28th, and I'm going to still be in New York, and I need to find that place. Everybody wants to go see New York and all. I just want to go find a Steelers bar.
Will said, screw Rockefeller Center. I'm not going ice skating and looking at a tree. I'm watching the Steelers.
I can go do all that stuff after the game.
Fair enough. All right, so Pinstripe Bowl. Clemson is a 3.5-point favorite against the Nittany Lions in the first matchup since Danny Ford's Tigers took down Joe Pa's Nittany Lions in the Gator Bowl
By the way,
or Citrus Bowl.
still the largest. It ended up being still the largest margin of victory for Penn State to lose in a bowl game. 35-10 Clemson win. That was Rodney Williams coming out, throwing for 214 yards, throwing to Keith Jennings, who I think had 122 of those yards. They came out just, throwing it all over the place. Terry Allen, I believe, went over 100 yards rushing in that game. Tracy Johnson, I believe, had a touchdown in that game, the late Tracy Johnson. Dorian Marable with an interception. Jesse Hatcher, I believe, had an interception in this game as well. Terry Smith, the Penn State interim coach, he was on this team and he didn't do much at all, as he said, in the game. So, that was Clemson's win over them in the 1988 Citrus Bowl at the end of to wrap up the 1987 season. Clemson was the ACC champs that year and finished 10-2 against Joe Pa's, their team finished 8-4, I believe, that season. They were coming off a national championship, by the way. So the only time Clemson and Penn State have met on the gridiron until the Pinstripe Bowl. All right, Alex, I'll let you go first on this one.
All right, I know Clemson's attrition problems. I know Penn State's attrition problems. I think Penn State's are just a little bit more veiled right now. I think we'll get a clearer picture during warm-ups on the 27th. Clemson's a 3.5-point favorite. Kind of surprised to see Clemson as a 3.5-point favorite with all the injury problems.
It dropped one from. It started off as Clemson a 2.5-point favorite, went to Penn State being a favorite, then it went up to Clemson being a 4.5-point favorite, then it's dropped to 3.5.
Yeah, talk about a volatile line.
Yeah.
In terms of Vegas lines, like if I'm giving you actual betting advice, I'd say stay the heck away from this. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
What's the over and under?
Oh, man, let me go find it. I had it pulled up here a second ago. And the over-under is 48.5.
48.5. Again, stay away from that because I don't know are we going to see these two teams get to 24 points?
Yeah, and you want to hear an interesting note about this line. 57% of bets on the spread favor Penn State, and 53% of money on the spread favors Penn State.
Yeah, but last week it was like 70% Clemson.
Yep.
And that's before all the opt-out news came out.
Yeah. So just kind of some interesting tidbits on the line there.
And that's why the line moved down a point from 4.5 to 10.
But I think, Will, that we talked about it, what the difference in this game is going to be. I think Clemson's defense is going to be able to do enough to slow down Penn State. It's not like they're a juggernaut on offense. And I think Clemson's experience at quarterback is going to prove to be the difference in this game. I think Clemson covers and Cade Klubnik rides off into the sunset and is ice skating in Rockefeller Center, celebrating his holiday after the game. I think the Tigers are going to cover and win the football game.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. First of all, it's an outdoor press box, so that's going to be fun.
Bring a jacket.
And they're actually calling for snow Saturday morning.
That'll be fun.
So there might be some snow in my seat when I get there. So it's going to be like 35 degrees on game day. They're calling for it clearing and some sun showing up, but it's New York, man. It won't.
There's like a 20% chance of snow at kickoff.
Dude, I've been to New York, and neither time I've been to New York have I seen the sunshine, and I don't think I'll see the sunshine this time either. And I don't mean because I'm staying out all night. I'm talking about I'm walking around during the daytime, and it's just overcast. It's either overcast and cold and snowing, or what? Every time I've been in New York, it's been overcast, cold, and snowing. So I expect that to be the case here as well. You know what I'm saying? And but I do like Clemson in this game because Clemson's got the quarterback. The veteran quarterback. They got a better passing game. And Clemson can run the football, and I think will run the football a little bit on Penn State. Penn State, they're one-dimensional. They've gotten better the last few weeks and all, but they're one-dimensional, man, and they love to run the football. I think Tom Allen's going to do everything he can to make that quarterback beat them. And so I think it's going to be a physical game. I think it's going to be a close game. But in the end, I think Clemson having the veteran quarterback is going to pay dividends. And I think Cade Klubnik and the Tigers go out winners. And Clemson wraps up the season with a 5-game win streak. So give me Clemson minus the 3.5 there. I think they take it.
Yeah, and there is a lot, as much as you could say there's a lot riding on this game, there is stuff riding on this game. With an 8th win, Clemson will have 14 straight seasons with 8 or more wins, would join, or 15, that would be 15 straight, would join Alabama and Georgia with 18 and 15 respectively as the only programs in the country with 15 or more consecutive seasons with 8 wins. So
yeah,
there is something to play for the Tigers.
There's a trophy to play for. I mean,
there is a trophy. There's going to be orange britches out there.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe I'll be in New York. Maybe I won't. I'm going to try. I did this again. I did this last year too. I was like, I'm going to go to Texas. And I didn't. So we'll see if I make it to New York.
I didn't go, guys, because I was there. I didn't see him. I had barbecue for him, though. I'll have pizza for him this time.
And bagels.
Yeah, and bagels. By the way, a programming note, I will be on the Tiger pregame show at 6:00 from New York as the Tigers.
Where are you going to do it from?
Because
you're talking about travel logistics at this point in New York.
I'm going to do it from my hotel. So we'll be fine. And then go from there to the stadium. Should have plenty of time. The beauty about New York, you can walk most of it. And we're not too far from where the stadium is and all. So we're going to be fine where we're at. So anyway, programming notes, 6 a.m. Me, William Qualkenbush, and Ashby Mixon are going to be on the Tiger pregame show at 6 a.m. on WCCP, the Roar FM. So give that a listen, and then listen to Faxon and his guys after that in the Tiger Tailgate show. And then, of course, you'll have Don Munson, Tim Beret, and Reggie Merriweather, along with their fabulous producer, Ben Milstead, covering the game for you, like always. So go check it out on the Roar. I want to give them a shout out for that because I'll be part of the game day atmosphere here. Wrapping it up, Alex, trying to get over the top there and get the Tigers back to 8 wins, and we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, so that'll do it for our preview of the Pinstripe Bowl. For Alex Dodd, I'm Will Vandervort. We appreciate you joining us. We'll talk to you next time on Believe in Clemson Football, presented by FanDuel.
And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yes.